Hayden, this doesn't look like the Ritz.
You're right, Ariella. I thought the JSU Gala was supposed to be at the Ritz this year. Isn't that what Rabbi Mike said during last year's virtual gala?
Yes, Ariella and Aiden, you're both correct. I did say that. However, when we had to make a decision whether to make this year's gala in person or virtual, the Delta variant was spiking, and we were seeing a lot of breakthrough cases. We also recognized that December would be at the outer limits of protection for those who received the vaccine, and no one knew when and who would be able to receive the vaccine booster. So based on all of that, along with the feedback that we were receiving from a significant number of our regular attendees, we made the call to switch the gala from an in-person to a virtual event to enable as many people as possible to be part of the celebration. So yes, Ariella and Aiden, this ain't the Ritz, but with a little extra work on all of our parts, we can still convey to our viewing audience the magic of JSU, the impact it has on teens like you, even long after you have graduated school, and why the partnership of everyone is so critical to the future of the Jewish people. Before we get started, why don't y'all introduce yourselves?
Hi, my name is Ariella Grad. I'm a junior at Parkway North High School, and I'm the president of our school's JSU club.
Hi, I am Aiden Dugan, a senior and president of Ladue High School's JSU Club. Tonight, we hope we can share a bit of that magic Rabbi Mike mentioned, as we hear from our current JSUers, some of our alumni, and a few other surprises as we pay tribute to some very special friends of JSU. Dr. Susan Feigenbaum and Dr. J. Pepose, as well as Mr. Bob Hardcastle. But first, Ariella, why don't you tell our audience the special opportunity they have tonight?
Tonight is the 8th night of Hanukkah, which is also the last night of Hanukkah. Hanukkah celebrates the defeat of the Syrian Greeks' attempts to get the Jewish people to give up their Jewish identity and become like the Syrian Greeks. Unfortunately, in today's day and age, we are having to refight that battle again. Young Jews in America are growing increasingly distant from their Jewish heritage. Many don't participate in religious practices or even engage in Jewish communal life. They have a weak attachment to the land of Israel and have little or no sense of belonging to the Jewish people. But JSU has been here for me and my peers to strengthen our knowledge and appreciation of what it means to be part of the Jewish people. And tonight, you, our viewing audience, can help JSU reverse this trend due to the generosity of the Weissman Family Foundation. Every donation tonight will be matched up to $18,000.
So if you haven't made your gift yet, or would like to make an additional gift, you can do so throughout this broadcast in 3 ways. 1, on the right side of your screen, you may click on the giving level of your choice or enter your own amount in the amount box. 2, you can call our operators at 314-498-6279. If our operators are on another call, please leave a voicemail message with your name, number, and the amount you would like to pledge. Or 3, email your name and pledge amount to gala@jsustl.org.
Wow, you got straight down to business. I think I found 2 new development people for our team. Oh, I'm so sorry, but I just realized some of us may not have met yet. My name is Rabbi Mike Rovinsky, and I have the greatest job on earth as the founder and executive director of the Jewish Student Union of St. Louis. Every day, my team and I have the pleasure of engaging teens of our community and help them learn, grow, and develop into the future leaders of our community and the Jewish people. Speaking of the JSU team, I would like to take a moment to recognize the men and women who are out in the trenches directly inspiring the Jewish future. Rabbi Yitz Staum, Sam Zitten, and Ellen Hoffman, along with Alana Umansky-Minoff and Chaya Manny, who recently joined the JSU team. Alana will be working with me in developing strategic partnerships, and Chaya will join Rabbi Yitz and Sam out in the field developing and running JSU clubs and programs, and serving as a role model for the JSUers. I also would like to thank our Gala co-chairs, Dr. Stan and Jean Margel, and Dr. Richard Kofkoff and Dr. Susan Godwin Kofkoff, along with our honorary chairs and gala committee. My only regret is that we did not have the opportunity to work together so much due to the gala being virtual, but we can do double duty next year. I would be remiss if I did not make special mention of Mr. Paul Gallant, who serves not only as JSU chairperson, but has become a very beloved and cherished friend. Whether it's the daily phone calls or our weekly lunch meetings studying Torah or dreaming of new and better ways to impact the Jewish future, I cherish those moments and never fail to walk away inspired. Ariella and Aiden, there are many new members of the JSU family watching tonight who may have a conceptual understanding of JSU and our mission, but may not be as familiar with the daily operations. Why don't you share that with them?
Sure. JSU clubs typically meet weekly, either before, during, or after school. During the clubs, we participate in informal, exponential Jewish learning through lots of fun, Jewish-themed activities and discussions.
JSU clubs provide us the opportunity to learn about Judaism and how it applies to our daily lives. These clubs provide us the forum to ask questions about Judaism and other things that are in our minds in a non-judgmental environment. And when we see Rabbi Yitz, Sam, or Chaya trying to make sense of the world around us and integrate Judaism into our lives, we can take that outside of the classroom and hold on to it to inform the rest of our lives.
Beyond the JSU clubs, there is the Jewish Jerusalem Journey, or TJJ as it is known, where JSU takes us to Israel for a month in the summer, the President's Day Weekend Relief Mission. This year, we are going to Puerto Rico to help rebuild a school destroyed by Hurricane Maria. The Movitz-Danforth Israel Scholars course, the Jewish Scholars course, the Anne and Andrew Rauchman Holocaust Studies course, Shabbat retreats, holiday programming, and so much more.
So basically, what we are saying is JSU creates a sense of Jewish community in our schools so we can engage Jewishly and strengthen our Jewish identity and connection to Israel in meaningful ways. JSU clubs give teens a sense of belonging to the Jewish people and that we are forever one united family.
Look inside through the heart of a Jew. Open up its many doors. And the soul that you'll see there inside is a reflection of yours. For each soul is a part of one whole that joins us to each other. We are all a part of one another, and we have always been one. We are one since way back in time, unified at our start. We began as a nation to live and believe with one heart. You and I, we were all gathered there as one. We said we'll do and hear. We were born to belong together and forever. Try and feel it and never can divide us, for we are forever one. There are times when we might drift apart and go our own separate way. But the spark from above that we share is alive and ablaze. JSU strives to brighten each spark and shine away the darkness. Our light will shine on forever, and we shall ever be one. Forever one, we will go far. It's not who I am, but who we are. We need just to reveal it. We need to try and feel it, and never are we alone. We have each other as our own. Nothing can divide us, for we are forever one. Forever one, we will go far. It's not who I am, but who we are. We need just to reveal it. We need to try and feel it, and never are we alone. We have each other as our own. Nothing can divide us, for we are forever one.
Wow, Rabbi Yitz sure can sing.
Yes, he can. And the lyrics to that song really express one of the main missions of JSU, to show how all Jews are really one united people. We are all brothers and sisters. We're a family, the Jewish family. And it's that sense of family and community that JSU staff create for us with all of their programming and by example in the way that they lead their lives.
Please help Rabbi Yitz and the rest of the JSU team to continue to inspire us. You can do so right now by making a special gift to tonight's gala by using the donation link in the right of the screen, or by emailing your gift amount to gala@jsustl.org, or by calling 314-498-6279.
I have long felt that the key to the reversing the tide of assimilation and thereby strengthening the future lay with the teens. And there is empirical evidence to support this assertion. Numerous studies by the Jim Joseph Foundation and others have found that the teen years represent a critical period of identity development, and those who engage in Jewish learning experiences as adolescents are more likely to live vibrant Jewish lives as adults. Today's teens need access to engaging Jewish educational experiences during those critical teen years, and that's where JSU comes in. JSU clubs are a proven tool for engaging Jewish teens of all affiliations because we meet the teens where they are. We create a sense of community where everyone feels valued, regardless of how they may or may not choose to express their Judaism. Normally, at this point of the program, I would share with you a few words about what JSU has accomplished since our last gala, what JSU is doing now, and where we are headed in the future. In short, the past, the present, and the future of JSU. But tonight, I thought you would appreciate seeing it more than hearing about it. The last 18 months for JSU, like for everybody, have been anything but normal. But we have a rule in JSU. We're not allowed to use the word obstacle. We view those as opportunities. And the challenge was, how are we going to take the COVID situation and everything that it brought and flip it on its head and use it as an opportunity?
I think the kids missed the learning, they missed the engagement, they missed the social interaction with us staff and everything that comes along with that. And I think it's very easy to ignore those things until you notice that they're not there.
One of the things we realized is by not being allowed into the schools to do in-person programming, we were going to have to come up with another model that we were going to use in order to engage the teens. And we recognized that we weren't going to have the masses that we have from in-person programming. We weren't going to see the 800 plus kids that we normally see in a given year. So we decided that we were going to delve deeper into the relationships with the teens that we were able to reach.
Having opportunities to interact with people in person is kind of the bread and butter of what we do. Having that stripped away forces you to be creative and try different things.
One of the programs that we came up with is we have JSU Unboxed. So we put in club materials that we would deliver to the homes of the JSUers, and then we would have a Zoom meeting with those physical things.
It's kind of like if you've ever had one of those like subscription services that you get. It's basically like it's delivered in like a box like that. And for Purim, they put the Grogger in there. I remember they had like pamphlets about JSU, and I really remembered the Hamantaschens that they had there, because I'm not like a big Hamantaschen person, but these were like really good. They were really soft and they were like homemade.
You know, seeing that box delivered at their door just reminded them that there's people out there who care about them and care about their connection to Judaism. We had a program we called Parkin' Latte, where we invited kids to drive in their cars to a Starbucks parking lot. I had a FM radio transmitter that I'd just gotten off of Amazon, and I told the kids what station to tune into, and I broadcast our learning program to the kids listening to the parking lot. It even had an interface so they could call in on their phone. It was like a radio call-in show. We would do weekly clubs in person, outdoors, as long as weather was permitting. We could give kids a chance to come together socially distanced, safely. We started doing weekly videos on the Torah portion. Rabbi Staum, Rabbi Ravinsky, and myself each had our own sort of specialties.
Each one of us would come up with an inspirational message from that week's Torah portion that we were reading in the synagogue, and something that's applicable in our lives that we could use in a very real way. But we wanted to remain connected, and we wanted to be able to still deliver that inspiration. And we got really, really great feedback on those videos. People really appreciated it.
They were cool videos that were educational, that I could watch and enjoy and learn a little bit about Judaism just while I was at home. They were more interactive, like you would build something and then like a honey dipper for Rosh Hashanah and then talk about that. And so I thought that was really cool.
I recently had the opportunity to chaperone 9 of our JSU leaders from around the St. Louis area to our first National President's Conference.
I met so many people from all over the United States and Canada, and I learned how they lead their clubs and the different strategies they use to connect the different people at their school to Judaism and JSU. And I implemented those into my club, and it really opened my eyes at how I can connect different people.
And we're back. All of our clubs are up and running. Our numbers are greater than they've ever been, even before COVID, and I think there are many reasons for that. However, the bottom line is we're out there, we're reigniting the spark of Jewish identity in each and every one of these teens, building for a brighter Jewish tomorrow.
We have a huge list of opportunities for our kids coming up. There's a Torah learning opportunity over winter break called Yarchei Kala that kids can participate in. Over President's Day weekend, JSU is going to be taking a relief mission to Puerto Rico. We're going to be helping rebuild schools that are still demolished since the hurricane a few years ago. This summer, for the first time, we're going to be offering a program that's actually my program I'm running called TJJ Scuba, or TJJ Deep. where we're going to take kids to Israel and they'll get certified to scuba dive. We'll spend a week and a half seeing the country in a slightly more concentrated way, but experiencing everything that Israel has to offer. And then during the final days of the program, we're going to be scuba diving in the Marine Archaeological Park off of Caesarea, looking for the snails that they use to make the famous blue dye, and then seeing how it's actually processed in a factory.
So I went on the TJJ trip the summer before my freshman year, and it was an amazing opportunity to interact with all sorts of different Jewish youth from all different backgrounds and all different observance levels, and I enjoyed getting to explore some of the more meaningful questions to me about Judaism and how that interacts with science and the Torah and all of that stuff.
We are going to be launching in the next few months a program on anti-Semitism and anti-Zionism to prepare the teens for what they face both on the high school campus as well as what they're going to face on the college campus. And a component of that will focus on parents and grandparents. And we will also be launching the Rauchman Holocaust course. The philosophy behind everything that we do is to maintain the relevancy of Judaism to the teens. It's very, very scary. The Pew study of American Jewry in 2020 said that over 40% of Jewish young adults under the age of 40 consider themselves atheists, agnostics, or nothing in particular rather than being Jewish.
And without JSU, I think a lot of Jews would lose their identity going through high school years, and they may not go to a temple. And so going to JSU is the closest thing they'll get to learning about different types of Judaism, talking about Jewish issues, Israeli politics, things like that, that they would have no experience with outside of high school.
JSU has definitely influenced my search for college in terms of I'm really looking for a big Jewish community that's vibrant and does a lot of stuff and has an active Hillel, because I really enjoy having that community at my high school. And so it's really important to me that I'm able to have that community in my college.
We have so much in JSU that we want to accomplish. We have so many ideas and so much potential, but we cannot do this without your help. The sky is the limit, but it requires the partnership of all of you out there to work with us to make this a reality, for us to be able to engage with these kids and make a reality for them that not so long ago many of us never would have dreamed possible.
We're building back stronger. There's an excitement about everything that we're doing. We're very encouraged, and I think the teens are really enjoying that. We so much appreciate everyone's support because, you know, this is about all of us. It's not just the people who work in JSU. This is about our community, it's about our future, it's about our people.
So the upshot is, we took the challenges and the obstacles of COVID, and with the help of Hashem, turned them into opportunities. We not only persevered, but we came out stronger and better than ever, and I'm so looking forward to what the next days are going to bring.
I hope the video you just watched has given you a glimpse of all the amazing things that the JSU staff does on a daily basis to enable us to understand and connect to our Jewish heritage.
The impact of JSU does not end when we graduate high school. JSU staff help us find Jewish connections on the college campuses we choose to attend. They help us find and attend gap year programs in Israel, where we not only continue our growth and connection to Judaism and Israel, but we get a year's worth of college credit, and our parents are happy because it's a lot cheaper than a year of college in the United States. In short, JSU staff always seem to be there for us.
You, too, can be here for us if you give us a special gift this evening. Remember that all gifts received this evening will be matched by the Weissman Family Foundation. JSU programs are often the door through which Jewish teens step to embark on a lifelong Jewish journey. It's my pleasure to introduce to you Clayton JSU alum Rebecca Bloom, who will share with you a bit of how JSU has impacted her life's Jewish journey.
I grew up at a Jewish day school in St. Louis, and after graduating, I was really craving still having some meaningful and fun Jewish learning, and JSU provided just that. It was such a highlight for me to be able to go to Starbucks with all of my friends from the Jewish community at Clayton and have some fun, rich, meaningful Jewish learning together, to be able to celebrate the holidays and to make new friends. It was Sukkot time, and we planned a really fun event where we were creating Sukkot out of different treats and candies, and we invited, of course, our Jewish community and also our other friends at Clayton High School to come and join us in celebrating this holiday, where they really had the opportunity to learn about traditions and culture that was probably different than where they grew up in their households. I graduated high school and went on to study Jewish studies and media advertising with a specialization in public relations and strategic communications in college, where I was still very involved with my Jewish community. And then now I am thrilled to be the Assistant Director of Admissions and Marketing at a Jewish day school in Lakeview in the city of Chicago, where I can continue to give that gift of a meaningful Jewish childhood to new families. And I think that this is largely in part to my experiences I had growing up, especially in JSU, that really just made being Jewish so joyful and so much fun. And I hope that tonight, from hearing some stories and being together, you feel inspired and can really help continue this incredible program and by giving these experiences to more students. So thank you for everything, JSU. I'm so grateful for the memories that I had and being able to really infuse my high school experience with meaningful Judaism.
As Ariella and Aiden shared earlier, JSU is one big family, and through your partnership, each of you are part of that JSU family. Tonight, we are paying special tribute to a few members of that JSU family. Our first honoree is Mr. Bob Hardcastle. Let us listen in on what members of his inner circle have to say about him.
I first met Bob really at the J. We had lockers near each other, and Bob and I played handball together for a number of years.
Well, I've known Bob for 65 years, him and Jan, his wife, and we went to high school together.
It's more than just friends. When you have a friendship that lasts that long a time, well, there's a lot to that.
My dad's personality is extremely bubbly, always positive, lights up a room, and just makes you feel like you're the best one there, and all he wants to do is talk to you.
He loves to help people and just share experiences. So when you first meet him, he's gonna ask you all about yourself. You know, he's not the guy that says, me. He's the guy that says, yeah, you know, tell me about you. What are you excited about? How do you live your day and how do you live your life?
He's always trying to do what was best for the person that he's dealing with, be it a client or a good friend. He's the kind of guy you can count on if you need some help.
He's immensely successful. He's written books. He's very committed to his family. He's just a very remarkable person in being able to do all the things that he does the way he does them.
Throughout our lives, his quiet leadership is what rises to the top. It's not necessarily been about him. It's been about, is the group getting what it needs? I guess that goes right to the heart of who he is.
He was always the kind of guy that whatever he did, he sort of excelled at. But that was really due to his hard work. I mean, he was a good hard worker.
He instilled in me not to give up. He taught me that when you have one obstacle in your way, you can choose to make it an obstacle, or you can choose to find a way to get around that obstacle.
The one thing that I can't get, Bob keeps himself in the background. He doesn't force himself on anybody. But the one kinky thing in his personality are his red shoes. What's with that? Now that I think about it, I'm going to have to ask him that question.
He played a lot of baseball. He was a captain on our team. He went on and played college ball, and then he had some minor league experience from there. And then he came back and he wound up doing some coaching at the college level. He made it look so easy and natural, but he put a lot of effort into it.
You know, Bob's in the Jewish Sports Hall of Fame, which was an honor he deserved. But equally important, much of the Jewish community who knew him because he's so active from a business perspective, they wouldn't have known that he was Jewish. And I thought that that ought to be something that he does.
Bob's radio show is called Money Talk. He has enjoyed being able to broadcast and talk about investments and the economy and finances and stocks
I think he really likes coaching. He really likes advising people and really like helping people. So he started this wonderful business, and he has been helping people for over 50 years. And he has grown that business from nothing to what it is today. One thing that I'm proud of my dad on is his dedication to his Judaism. Dad was not truly involved in the Jewish religion when I was a younger kid. I noticed when I got older that he was starting to spend more and more time there. And he got really energized, and he really started falling in love with it again.
I know he enjoys his weekly visits to the temple and praying, and it's a very important part of his life. He does that weekly no matter what.
He doesn't hide his faith. As a matter of fact, one of the gatherings at his home, he said, "Hey, Walter, I want to show you my prayer room. This is a little place in the house, and I can focus on my faith." Along with that, he had 2 big jars filled with marbles. And he said, every Saturday morning, I take 1 marble out of this jar that's full over here, and I put it over into the other jar. While I'm doing that, I just thank God that he's given me another week to live. I think that spoke a lot about his faith and the element of thanking God for what we have on this planet and what we have in our lives. Bob knows full well that our life on this planet is a gift of God.
I think it's important for my dad to give back to the community. Based on his upbringing, I think he had a really poor upbringing. So I think for him, whether it's monetary or his time, to be able to give back to certain organizations, I think that makes him feel good because he's able to do that now, and he had people that helped him along his way.
He gives to other people, but I think the most important thing for him is when he gives and is involved in the Jewish religion and the Jewish heritage and what he does with the local rabbis and the congregation. So I think that's really something that I'm proud of him for.
If there are youthful people who are still looking for their faith, when they find people like Bob, they find a terrific example, someone that they can use as a guide moving towards a stronger relationship with their faith.
There are people who have a cynical, pessimistic view of life. And then there are the optimists who, instead of thinking what can go wrong, realize the possibilities of what could go right. My dear friend Bob Hardcastle is such a man, a realistic optimist. Many in the St. Louis community and elsewhere know Bob as a successful, engaging investment advisor and as a TV and radio personality. In my 30 years plus friendship with Bob, I've come to know him as deeply devoted to his family and friends. And I know Bob is the ideal honoree for JSU's special event. JSU, under the able leadership of Rabbi Ravinsky and his colleagues, inspires teens to take pride in their Jewish identity and to engage Jewishly by making Judaism meaningful and relevant. Bob Hardcastle's growth as a person and as a Jew has been on an upward trajectory from the moment we met. Bob and I have studied together, we've traveled to Israel together, and we've shared many good and some difficult moments together as well. Through thick and thin, Bob's commitment to Judaism, to the Jewish people, and to his own Jewish growth has never wavered. One of the great relationships of my life is my friendship with Bob Hardcastle, and I'm so honored and proud to present him with this award from JSU.
Rabbi Mason, thank you so much for that introduction and those kind remarks that you've made towards me and my family. I really appreciate it greatly. And I want to thank the JSU for all they've done to help young people, not only here in St. Louis, but throughout the United States. It's my pleasure, it's an honor for me to receive this award. As I've said to the rabbis, I think I do just a little to help. And if everyone would do just a little to help, I think it would be so great for the organization. But just to help young people. And for me, it's very special because at the JSU, there are young men who've come from Orthodox families, from conservative families, and from families that maybe didn't practice Judaism at all. So I wasn't raised Orthodox, But when my grandfather, Cohen, was dying, on his deathbed, he asked my mom, please raise Bob Jewish, have him bar mitzvahed. And so I was. And then after I was bar mitzvahed, the rabbis asked me, do you want to continue? And I said, well, let's see, I've got baseball, I've got music, I've got saxophone, clarinet, plays, things like that. No, I don't want to continue. So then, back in the 80s, I get a card that says, would you like to have a Rosh Hashanah survivor kit? And I sent it in, and Rabbi Zeph Mason called me on the phone, and that's how we met. Now, I always tease him because I told him he kind of fibbed me a little bit, because as we were talking, he said, what would you like to do? And I said, well, I'd like to learn to be a better Jew. And he said, well, do you have 10 minutes a day? And I said, yeah, I have 10 minutes a day. So we started kind of a learning session for 10 minutes a day, and that went on for months. And then he said, you know what, do you have another 5 minutes? And I said, sure. Well, now it's an hour. And we meet every other Thursday, and we talk. And we talk about Judaism, and we're talking about why it's so important to be good, not only to yourself, but to others. And that's part of Judaism. And I'm so blessed because I'm able to go to TIC, and I'm able to study with Rabbi Zeph Mason and Rabbi Grunwald at Aish Torah. So with Aish Torah and JSU and TIC and Rabbi Zeph Mason, I'm able to be surrounded with people who are not only Jews, but believe how important Jewishness is. And anything we can do to help young people try to find their way into Judaism, wow, anything I can do, that's what I try to do.
Knowing Bob's love for baseball and the special place he holds in the Jewish Sports Hall of Fame, JSU commissioned this special gift containing all the Jewish baseball players, along with their signatures, to grace his office. But we added one special thing, our own super baseball Jewish star, and that is Bob Hardcastle, right there in the stands, wearing his Delta Investment polo shirt, being part of the Jewish ball players.
Please respond to Mr. Hardcastle's call to action and help us become inspired and committed Jews with your special gift this evening. Remember, every dollar you donate tonight will be matched by the Weissman family.
Yes, thank you for that, Ariella. For that reminder to our viewers, we are so grateful to all of you who are making a statement that a strong Jewish future is important to you by your gift to tonight's gala.
One of the most rewarding aspects of being part of the JSU team is sharing in JSU alumni life cycle events, be they happy occasions or sometimes less happy occasions. We also cherish the opportunity to simply catch up when they return to St. Louis on vacation or to visit family. We recently had the chance to do so with JSU alum Maddie Pines.
When I first started JSU, I was kind of hesitant. I came from a fairly non-Jewish high school and background. And so when I went in, I was very timid. I don't know if this is for me. I don't know if these are my people. But after that first meeting, I walked out of there and was like, wow, I can't wait to come back. I'm currently the vice president of Hillel at Butler University, and the tools that JSU gave me about not only advocacy, but learning are all tools that I use and that empower me in my position when we were faced with anti-Semitism or religious adversity, I was able to use this knowledge that JSU had empowered me to advocate for myself and to advocate for my beliefs, and had all these resources available to me that then helped me combat that on campus. I think that the skills that I've gained and that the information that it empowered me with, Lattes and Learning and the different educational experiences, as well as TJJ, were able to guide me as an individual into this new exploration of Judaism, and I think that I'm forever grateful for that. I'm not sure if I would be as involved in my Judaism without it. We were going to go see the Kotel for the first time, and our advisors had us close our eyes and put our hands on the person in front of us, and all of us had our eyes closed, so nobody could really tell where we were going, and we were all just touching each other and just so connected to each other. And they turned us to face east, and they said, 1, 2, 3, open your eyes. And that moment, standing at the Kotel, looking at the past, the future, just that present moment, was just so, I don't even have the words to describe it. The support that I received after TJJ, so not only the actual engagement and the learning and all of the different haboras and hands-on experiences, when we came back home, that didn't stop. I still had those advisors reaching out, wanting to learn Torah with me, having book clubs with them, having those connections. I grew up in a family where I went to religious school, but that was it. That was I did it for my parents because my parents drove me to religious school on Sunday morning. It wasn't until I started JSU and especially TJJ that reason why I did it was for me now. It wasn't for my parents. It was because I want to learn more about my Judaism, because I want to experience what it's like culturally, because I'm now making that choice.
I first met Susan Feigenbaum and Jay Pepose when they reached out to me when their triplets were born some 27 years ago to perform the brises on their boys. Our paths have crossed many times since then, most notably when Susan played the key role in the initial accreditation of the Movitz-Danforth Israel Scholars course by UMSL so many years ago. But let's hear what others have to say about this special couple.
It is my pleasure to be here tonight to really celebrate Jay and Susan. And of course, given their foundation on faith and family, this makes total sense that they would want to support other students in their Jewish faith or students that are coming new to the Jewish faith. It's just absolutely who they are.
Doctors Jay and Susan Pepose are longtime members of our congregation, and I'm very proud to consider them friends of myself and our family.
Jay and I worked together for a number of years. He's a superb ophthalmologist, a true triple threat, someone who's a great clinician, a great teacher, and an outstanding researcher. He is one of the leading refractive surgeons in the United States.
I know Susan Feigenbaum because she is a retired faculty member from the University of Missouri St. Louis. And in fact, not just any faculty member, she has been named a Curator's Distinguished Teaching Professor, and she's emeritus status. And that's frankly the top that you can get at the University of Missouri system.
In terms of who Jay and Susan are as people, most of the time when you see really great kids, it doesn't happen by accident. And I know each of Jay and Susan's 4 kids, and they are the best of the best. Not coincidentally, because Jay and Susan are the best of the best.
Susan is very driven and focused and caring and giving. So that wonderful, warm package.
They have been a power couple long before that term was in common usage. A dynamic duo, if you like.
Jay and Susan have a really strong foundational sense about wanting to give back to the world.
Jay and Susan have a strong commitment to Jewish education, both their commitment to their children themselves, as well as having generously sponsored a scholarship for needy and worthy Jewish students within our congregation.
Susan has been very passionate about first-generation students and providing support structures and scholarships for first-gen students. Jay is an optometrist and has a great business. And so they provided educational opportunities for our optometry students to learn laser vision correction. And they helped train those students, but also provided free to low-income people as well as to our first responder population.
Jay and Susan are so humble and unassuming that you would never imagine that they are as proficient and as accomplished as they actually are.
They have both been at the top of their professions, making substantial contributions to our knowledge and teaching. And in addition, together, they have supported multiple Jewish organizations, including JSU and the Kol Yisrael.
Having Jay and Susan involved in JSU and the mission of reigniting students' faith in Judaism and making sure that they're engaged and understand the future, that's just really foundational for Jay and Susan, given that their faith is so important in their lives. And of course, it also really points to their foundation in education, making sure that that's accessible and available and supported through everything that they're involved in.
Congratulations to Susan and Jay for this well-deserved honor from JSU.
We couldn't be more honored than to be able to present this award to our good friends, Susan Feigenbaum and Jay Pepose. As all of you know, they are simply remarkable human beings, both stellar and yet down to earth. We've been blessed to have known Jay and Susan for 25 years. And have been privileged to share the joy of their achievements, but also some sad times as well. First and foremost, family means everything to them, so we would be remiss at this time in not only mentioning the loss of their and our beloved Pam, who was smart and kind and integral to this family, but to acknowledge how Jay and Susan stepped up with full hearts to take in and lovingly care for Pam. To say that they acted in a praiseworthy manner simply doesn't do them justice. But how they stepped up with love and compassion is classic Jay and Susan.
Their family-first perspective also shines because Jay and Susan have been equally outstanding as loving, nurturing parents. Through every age, we have watched them be the continuous supporters and cheerleaders of their children's academic, lifelong achievements, and dreams. We have even seen each of the Pepose children sparkle and shine from their young tumbling days at the circus, to singing at Powell Hall, to careers with Facebook, the arts, and even graphic novels. And still, they each have professional achievements that put them at the very top of their respective fields. Susan, as an accomplished economics professor, who among other accomplishments was named a Curator's Distinguished Teaching Professor, and who has authored a series of college textbooks on economics. And Jay, who was a world-renowned ophthalmologist, both as a researcher of cutting-edge treatments and as a clinician, the recipient of the Life Achievement Award from the American Academy of Ophthalmology, and frequent world traveler as a presenter to his peers, and all the while, they remain extremely unassuming and humble.
For most people, a close family and outstanding professional achievements would be enough. For Jay and Susan, this is merely their springboard. They also generously open their hearts to many praiseworthy people and causes, not the least of which is reflected to the work that they do on behalf of the Jewish community. They each possess a commendable, loving spirit of altruism, giving with pure joy and unselfishness that makes us so honored to introduce this award this evening. They are deeply principled, and if they see something that they think is wrong, they act on those principles. It's not just combating anti-Semitism, but being champions of pro-Semitism. Their support for the state of Israel as a Jewish homeland is unwavering. But so is their support for inculcating identifiably Jewish values into the next generation through education, whether creating and supporting a formal Jewish presence at UMSL, or as a pillar supporter of the great work that Chabad does in Chesterfield, or that JSU does for Jewish kids at area schools. Jay and Susan are all over it. So it's our distinct pleasure to present on behalf of JSU our honorees, Jay Pepose and Susan Feigenbaum.
Thank you, Bob and Joni. We are humbled by the award, and we accept it on behalf of all of the outstanding Jewish leadership in the St. Louis region that are committed as volunteers and donors to the mission of inculcating Jewish education and Jewish identity, particularly in our teenage population. Jay and I were blessed to be raised by parents that placed a strong emphasis on our Jewish identity, on Jewish education, and on our love for the state of Israel. We have tried to imbue that in our 4 children, and we know, given what goes on at college campuses these days, the importance, particularly in the junior high and high school levels, of embarking on programs such as JSU offers to create this sense of Jewish identity and to create a foundation in Jewish education.
Well, I would like to thank JSU and Rabbi Ravinsky and the JSU board for this great honor. And we would like to acknowledge the fantastic work that JSU does in our community.
Recognizing the important role family plays for Jay and Susan, JSU commissioned a unique, one-of-a-kind challah cover depicting their family tree with all their children and their names in Hebrew. And I'm confident that they will enjoy using this every Shabbat and every holiday as they celebrate with their family. Well, Ariella and Aiden, I think that wraps it up for this year's gala.
Yes, it does. On behalf of all of the teens of our community, Ariella and I want to thank each of you for your generous support in making JSU available to our peers and us. And remember, you can't spell JSU without you.
Thank you so much, and don't forget that you still have a few more minutes to make a match donation for the gala. Thank you again. Have a happy Hanukkah, and we'll see you next year at the Ritz. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.